What is up, space pirates? This is your captain, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and right now, I've gotta wonder, is Disney actually capable of learning from their pathetic failures at the box office?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so either. As usual, I'm sure that Disney will misidentify the problems that are plaguing them, but it does sound like they are making some changes to the way that they approach their movie making. In fact, if this report is true, there are tons of projects that they are dropping because it is finally dawning on them that maybe they can't keep pushing movies that nobody wants into the theaters over and over and losing millions without consequences. They may be mostly clueless, but at least they realize that something has to change.
Do something! Do something! Do something!
Alright, me hearties, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. My handle there is Dr. Disaster 1. But let's see what this news is. The headline from Inside the Magic says hundreds of future controversial Disney films cut by new leadership. Yeah, let's see what this is about. The article says, at the moment, it has been hard to ignore the state of Disney's entertainment department. And I gotta tell you, these writers at Inside the Magic would know. These guys are some of the biggest corporate kiss asses around. It is basically their job to make things look good for Disney, to ignore all the bad things that are associated with Disney. And if they can't ignore Disney's failures at the box office, then things must be pretty bleak. In 2023, we saw multiple box office flops from the company, which also lost its long-standing reign as the overall highest-grossing box office studio to Universal. In recent years, Disney's inclination towards producing live-action remakes has solidified into a distinct brand, albeit one met with growing criticism. Among their repertoire of 21 live-action remakes, a staggering 16 have emerged within the past decade, drawing a range of responses from audiences and critics alike. Many have voiced concerns over Disney's perceived lack of genuine investment and creativity in these endeavors.
Welcome to the party, pal!
This article is pretending as if the mainstream media wasn't helping Disney jam the soulless garbage that they have been making down our throats for the last decade, but let's be real. That's exactly what these guys were doing. They were corporate cheerleaders for the past decade. Those of us in the audience with the courage to disagree with the narrative being pushed by the mainstream, we have been the ones voicing concerns about Disney's lack of creativity. The media is only jumping on the bandwagon recently because they're like weather vanes. They go whichever way the wind is blowing. The prevailing sentiment of a lack of soul in Disney's live-action remakes has not gone unnoticed by the public. The reception of the three most recent adaptations, The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan and Wendy, and Pinocchio, reflects this sentiment, with ratings of 67%, 64%, and a mere 28% respectively. And I gotta cut in and clarify that these percentages are referring to the Rotten Tomatoes score of each of these movies. They don't specifically say that in the article, but that's what those numbers are. Anyhow, Pinocchio faced particularly harsh criticism, with reviews likening its perceived mediocrity and departure from the source material to the wooden core of the titular character. This critique encapsulates the broader perception that Disney's remakes prioritize financial gain and recognition over the creation of innovative and risk-taking narratives.
I've been saying it. I've been saying it for 10 damn years. Ain't I been saying it, Miguel? Huh? I've been saying it.
This is literally what we have been saying for a long-ass time. Now, the part that they won't admit is that this corporate desire to prioritize finances and recognition over creativity is actually what leads to wokeness in movies. They want people of all kinds of races on screen as a means of advertising to the audience. In a fit of collective insanity, they have convinced themselves that prioritizing this sort of thinking is actually making them money. And that sort of thing works for the modern day filmmakers because these people are less talented than the generations before them, and they use their diverse cast as shields to protect them from criticism. But the worm is turning. That strategy is not working like it used to, and that's where this article comes in. So continuing on, the most recent live action to stir controversy has been the new Snow White movie starring Rachel Zegler. While the film has yet to debut, it has already been pushed back over a year and has made copious headlines regarding its departure from the original classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Disney has removed the dwarfs and replaced them with magic creatures. There is no longer a Prince Charming, but a Jonathan, and Snow White will show a stronger leadership role in the film, foregoing her caretaker, nurturing persona that Walt developed years ago.
Yeah, all right, I'll see you guys there.
With so much failure surrounding the recent live-action films, as well as others, David Greenbaum, the previous head of the Searchlight Specialty Division and now the new head of Disney's live-action division, has a new plan. According to Puck, the new logic behind creating live-actions will now be shifting. In his meetings with Iger and Bergman, I'm told, Greenbaum pitched his philosophy as one question: does this movie need to exist? Sounds simple, but it's actually kinda radical for Disney. Was anyone asking for a second take on a Haunted Mansion movie? No, but it happened last year because everyone knows what the Haunted Mansion is. Does a live-action Moana need to exist when the original came out 8 years ago and an animated Moana 2 is also happening? Probably not, but under the old model, that's a no-brainer. Ditto the live-action Snow White and Lilo and Stitch remakes that are forthcoming. Okay, so I can get behind this 100%. These filmmakers have really needed to ask this question for a long time. Does this remake, reboot, prequel, or sequel really need to be made? I don't know about you, but I'm tired of all this unoriginal schlock. These media companies are so scared shitless of not making money at the box office that they are creating a situation where they're totally not making money at the box office. Our culture is stale and needs an infusion of new blood. And no, I'm not saying that we need more diversity or whatever the hell conclusions these insane wokesters would jump to. If there are people that look different from me on the screen in a news story, then so be it. But it can't be forced. Just let it happen naturally, but we need something new. As the article says here, if we look at Disney's most successful live-action franchises, they are original stories that are not based on their animated classics. Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, is a live-action franchise that has generated over $4.5 billion in gross revenue for the company, stomping on any other live-action that has come out based on a previously animated movie. And I'm going to stop them there now. We can't get too hung up on this issue of originality either. There are deep-seated problems between Disney and their now former customers that they have got to deal with. Being original is only one facet of the overall problem. Wish, from this last fall, was an original story, but it absolutely tanked at the box office, and before that, Strange Worlds was a completely new story, and that got destroyed as well. Neither of them were sequels, prequels, remakes, or reboots. These were new tales, and people did not want to go see them. Why? Because we don't trust Disney any longer. The information presented by this article is interesting, and it's refreshing to hear them finally acknowledging that there are problems with Disney. In fact, this is positive to the point that I would love to see Star Wars and the MCU follow suit. Start asking the question, do we even need this movie? But don't get the wrong impression. Disney still has a very long road to win me back. They still refuse to call out the floating specter in the room like a lingering fart that won't go away. It keeps hurting Disney's bottom line. It is the wokeness, folks. Disney has made a bunch of awful movies and then hidden behind the immutable characteristics of their characters as a shield. They've called us horrific names in a cowardly attempt to dodge blame. They would rather sow societal division and make a few dollars extra for having woke brownie points rather than accept responsibility. But I'll leave it there. What do you think is going on here? Is the article correct and Disney just needs to be a little more original and creative, or is there still something deeper than that which the company needs to fix before they will correct their box office woes? Let me know in the comment section what you think, and we'll chat there.
Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your captain is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.